That's essentially how he doing things, right? Esau get down like that. So it's saying after U.S.-Iran talks failed to reach a resolution of peace in Pakistan on Saturday amid a precarious ceasefire, the situation appears to be ramping back up again as the president announces the U.S. Navy will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz, which he says will start shortly. Now, this is how you know these other countries are about to turn on America. Because you're not about to stop us from getting oil. You ain't about to stop them from getting oil, Salaki. Right? You ain't about to stop them from getting oil, especially when Iran is doing business with them. Now, what if they did this, right? What if they allow passages through their land? Well, actually, no, that'd be probably an inconvenience. But look, war is gonna happen, and it's already happening, but it's gonna escalate. All right. This man out of his mind, man. It says, however, there's also the issue of the strait through which 20% of the world traded oil travels through and has effectively been blocked off by Iran for weeks since the war erupted on February 28th, causing fuel costs to rocket around the globe. Iran promised to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they knowingly failed to do so. DJT continued in his Truth Social post. This caused anxiety, dislocation, and pain to many people in countries throughout the world. No, he's doing this. It's crazy how he blaming them for doing this. No, he's the one who's doing this. Right? Now let's go to the next article. It says, have DJT actions in Iran done irreparable damage to the stock market? One data point tells the tale. Right? It says for most of DJT's tenure in the White House, the stock market has excelled. The widely followed Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right, matter of fact, let me go on down. Okay. They saying
one low undercut the prior December low, which is traditionally not a good sign. Actually, it's happened 76% of the time in midterm election years since World War II, and has pointed to a full year decline of about 3.5%. We also had the worst quarter in quite some time, but despite this inauspicious start, the S&P traditionally still posts a gain in April. So we might end up with a bit of a relief rally in this month, but then we could still be challenged in this second quarter because it has traditionally posted a more than 3% decline during midterm election years since 1990 with 9.
And look, none of this is gonna go right, because Esau is not an upright person, right? Even with dealing with this stock, right? He ended up DJT had his son, and I mentioned this in another video as well. He had his son, Barron Trump, invest in companies he knew, oil companies that he knew were going to be low, and then they were going to rise up. He knew the prices was going to rise because of the decision, because of the decision he was going to make. So he had his son invested them, and now his son is getting money off it. It's like, man, these people just not right. Right? This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Right? Because Esau, Edom, he's not upright. He wasn't made to be on a straight path. He was made to be crooked. Right? This man crooked as hell. All right. But that's just a little update of what's going on with this Strait of Hormuz madness, right? Where's the news at? DJT. He don't really. This is all their agenda, though. This is all what they wanted to happen anyway. This is all pushing further for the beast system to go into play for the new world order. All right. Let's see what JD Vance.
See an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon and they will not seek the tools that would.
Well, hold on. China just gave Iran nuclear weapons. Matter of fact, let me go there. Oh yeah, this CNN fake news. You know, you know, DJT fake news. This is fake news. I don't listen. Yeah, yeah, right. Hey, he calling this news fake because he don't want this shit out. It says U.S. intelligence indicates China is preparing weapons shipment to Iran amid fragile ceasefire. Sources say, right? Fair use, fair use.
Now to a CNN exclusive. According to sources familiar with recent U.S. intelligence assessments, China is preparing to send a shipment of weapons to Iran despite the ongoing fragile ceasefire, which it helped to broker. China says that these claims are untrue and that they have never provided any weapons to any country that's party to this current conflict. Two sources say that the weapons in China is sending include shoulder-fired anti-air missile systems.
See, now look, this might be fake news. That's crazy. Because they just had they are sending weapons to them. Now, this is the New York Times, right? U.S. intelligence shows China taking a more active role in Iran war. China may have shipped missiles. Oh, they're saying may have. Okay, Salakia, y'all. So they basically saying it's up in the air, but I believe China is going to get involved, right? Because they said if Israel shoot a nuke over to Iran, they're going to give Iran nuclear weapons and they're going to do them in, right? So they're saying the officials said that the intelligence is not definitive that the shipment has been sent and that there is no evidence that the Chinese missiles have yet been used against American or Israeli forces during the conflict, right? But they will get involved. They're going to get involved, y'all. So that's pretty much it on what I'm going to get with that. I'm going to let this play out and we're going to do it.
Enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment?
Look, one thing is, why does they keep playing Iran like they don't have nuclear weapons? They have nuclear weapons. Look, if they didn't, wouldn't Babylon the Great, aka America, just go on in and fight them like head on like that? I believe Iran already has them and they are playing us because, you know, they like to play that role. But I believe they're playing us like, yeah, they don't have nuclear weapons yet and we're trying to stop them from getting nuclear weapons. So this is why our efforts are so intertwined with theirs. But it's like they already have them, you know, because these people lie every day, a double-sided tongue. Like they lie at every chance they get. So they spin everything so that you don't come to the conclusion of what's really happening.
Of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years.
First off, they got an abundance of uranium and plutonium.
From now, but for the long term. We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will.
We're still learning exactly what broke down behind those closed doors, but Iranian officials familiar with the talks tell the New York Times that major sticking points included the fate of roughly 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium,